Yeah.
So what happened last week? Remember, I'm recording this that way. Guys will know. And I showed you like clairvoyantly, like, I was supposed to do it and stuff. So I go to this course. I am under the impression, like, I'm going to put it on record, it doesn't matter, that this institution really loves me. Okay? Because see how blinded we are to our own projection of truth. So this guy keeps saying, "Oh, come check it out. I'm not sure I can fit you in, but if you commit, you can come and audit. And if in case it's not a good fit, I'll give you your money back." That's what he says. Okay. The whole course is $4,000. I told you guys, right? So the registration is $250. I paid already registration. He says the first week is $2,000. So I have a feeling that he is completely being supportive, very nice guy. And then I go to the course. So I actually ended up leaving here by only 3 because the patient kept walking and walking. Even though I told everybody, by 1 o'clock I'm leaving, I couldn't leave. And even if one person comes in, I really don't feel like saying to them, I cannot see you, like, because they are in their own crisis. So I leave on, like, so I get there only like 3:30 or 4 o'clock, which is atrocious. I mean, like, I felt bad that I did that. So the minute I walk in, he always has a very nice smile. So he looks like Richard Gere, like an old version, and he is actually a little shorter than Richard Gere, but he's really like very pleasant looking. Always gives a huge smile. So like you assume like people are friendly and stuff, and I didn't get a negative vibe from him, but the persona is very welcoming. So then he says, "I want you to introduce yourself to the class." And he says the introductions between 1 to 1.5 minutes. And then he gives me a bunch of questions, right? Like 7 questions. So each question takes me, because I always try to do the best with each question. So I think the question was like in such a way that I couldn't finish it in 1.5 minutes. So apparently he says after I sat on it lasted 7 minutes. Yeah, come on. 1 second.
Oh, I just wanted to know.
Yeah. So then after 7 minutes, next day I had one-on-one time with him. And so I'm telling him, hey, you know what happened? I said I went to Block Island. I showed him all the pictures. And I said I almost uh, decided not to live with my husband anymore. And we went for a walk. And I said I really felt after that walk that the thing that shifted for me was that I'm hearing people, because I had a phonetic problem. I said we were watching Sound of Music, and I share that with you, angel
Yes.
voice, and it ended up being evil voice. So he was asking the class, what type of a flower are you? And it looked like he was annoyed at me. I couldn't tell for sure. So for some reason, I actually had an intense energy come in at that time. So I closed my eyes, because usually they call it samadhi. There is somebody's blessing me so intensely, like you could feel heaviness. And to acknowledge, I usually close my eyes, say thank you to my guardians. So he assumes I think I was falling asleep. I am not, like, usually you have seen me, I never ever go into that mode where I'm passing out. You know, I have no idea what he was seeing in me. I think maybe the combination of my dreads and see the thing is he's from California, so, and I could immediately see he was ticked off. Because see, I am very cued in with my husband. He acted exactly like my husband. And so he comes and says, what type of a flower are you? He didn't say it in that harsh manner, but his energy was coming across like that. So I said, I'm thinking of Edelweiss. Like he's a little taken aback, but because that's all I'm thinking of, right? It's like I threw it's so hilarious when you think about it, right? So that's when, like, after the class, I went and like tried to explain. I said, I hear people differently, and I heard angel voice and my husband character Megiddo voice, and I decided to stay married to him because knowing, like, this is my challenge. I have a phonetic issue. And you know what he said? He says, good, you stayed within 30 seconds. And I said, oh, that's exactly what my husband does. So I was so hurt.
Yeah.
I'm like, say, not only my husband is this way, this guy is the exact replica. I said, God, what are you trying to teach me? So that's when it dawns on me, he doesn't like me. I'm saying, like, so oblivious, right? Like, this is like comedy in comedy, like picture in picture, right? So I go home, I'm like saying, what the heck am I signed up for? So my husband, I'm like telling him, so they were talking in the class and they said, you know how you have cruise excursions in cruise ship, like shore excursion? This is done by people who finish the training. So I'm telling my husband, hey, guess what? This course is going to be making me a tour director so I can do tour excursions. And you know what my husband does? If that's the way you want to spend your life, go ahead. I'm like saying, oh my God. I said, Keith, I'm doing this course for you because you told me you want to be retired in cruise ships, He doesn't talk, he walks on. So right. I'm like, hey, God, what the heck is going on? I was meantime crying a little bit. I'm looking at my teacher and he sends a lesson for me. You wouldn't believe it. Like all happens like, in 72 hours. My teacher's lesson was, if you're hurt, you're arrogant. He says the only people who will be hurt is still going on to their ego, holding on to their ego. People who let themselves be porous, like a mother, because he's sending Mother's Day message, right? Would let it flow through. I told universe, please give me a break. I cannot take this anymore. So I meditated that night. I said, okay, first thing is I don't need to feel hurt. Second thing is I can do the wife's pop now. Remember like how you play the wife and then you become the new mom? I said, I'm going to do wife's pop. So I decided next day I'm going to ask him, because he told me that time, like, when I left, you are fit to be a guru, but I'm not sure you would be a student. So what he meant is you are not teachable, right? so I'm like saying, okay, let me ask him, do you think I need to continue? This way, like, see, I'm doing it all for spiritual reason. I don't care about the money. So next day I said, hey, I really wanted your suggestion. Do you think I need to continue? So he says to me, the first day I had grave doubts about you because you couldn't stay with a 1.5 minute. Second day I saw a big shift in your attitude. So I could see you could stay in 30 seconds. Now I feel confident. So you can sign up. I'll charge your credit card. I said, sure. So he says, okay, he'll go charge $2,000. And then I am saying, is it worth this much pain?
Yeah. You're paying $2,000 to basically deal with your husband for a charge.
And then this goes on and on and on. All the classmates try to come and give me advice, how to behave, and why I shouldn't feel hurt. I said I could not connect with anybody, seriously. And then they took us to airport to do meet and greet, like, that's a training, one of the training they do. And they meantime teach us you need to be a solutarian, meaning you create solutions, not fix the, not have them help you. So the question was, what if there is no shower? The person who gets out of the air flight wants a shower and they're desperate for it. So one girl said, that's a proper person who said, I'll have them. Please hold on for half hour. You'll be in hotel. That's her answer. She's younger. And I saw last week there is a kids group in Florida where puking constantly on the way back. If you're throwing up and you smell like puke and you're either meeting for a date or something, and the person is going to pick you up, imagine like you smell like throw up, right? So that's all I could think of. So I said, hey, I have a suggestion. And I said, it happened to me when I was in Florida. Like, I had a problem where the place I worked, the shower broke, and I had to go back to the conference, which I was doing for MRO trading. And I was in an Airbnb situation, so I couldn't really get into another hotel until, like, this is fixed in the morning. I'm back at that class. So my genitals are burning, like, and so I went to auto shop. I bought like these rags, and and in Florida to get anywhere to have a shower is impossible. So I went into the bathroom. I did like really sponge bath on myself. So I said, one of the thing is like, and also in elderly, they start bleeding and you can have UTI, you'll have confusion. Like, every minute you're actually exposing them to too much of a problem. I said, it really happened to me. And I said, to prevent like, private parts burning and stuff, I would suggest you get like washcloth and have like in the bathroom, like, a mini bath. She says you share too much information. We don't want that. I'm like saying, so are you trying to tell me that I need to be ashamed of my answer? You know, so like I'm like saying, there is a line, like, you need to say, am I going to be human or am I going to be a body just to carry out the words? And I said to myself, I'm not going to continue this. Seriously, this is crazy. So they have cover letters and stuff you need to write, and it's like a basic 12th grade, like or whatever it is. I shouldn't say that way. Like a starting position, right? So I said, I don't need to shrink myself to fit in. I can add my experience, but I don't need to be somebody I'm not. Plus, I'm looking at wellness tourism. So I showed them all I have, and I said, fit me into your cover letter. So apparently, that's when I realized this person who's working is his wife. And she says, looks apparent to us that you don't need the second week anymore. I said, oh, that's so freeing. And I said, really, I was thinking that. And they kind of wanted to know whether I wanted my money back. I said, no. I said, give me level 1 certification because the first week is level 1, second week is level 2. And I said, I got what I wanted from you guys because what I went there for was like some sort of, like, I thought like I was supposed to be there spiritually. But what I got the insight was the owner who started it. There were two people. One guy died already. This guy, he even mentioned, he says, I'm not sure I'm going to be there or not. So I'm expanding. So I'm like introducing new teachers. So he said, and I was given clearly, did I mention 2034? I was shown like 2034 is a significant year for me. I know that I'm going to be alive at my husband. Like something is shifting, okay? 2034. I don't know whether it's March 19 or April 19 or May 19. I have no idea. But like something is shifting in my life. That is like the year I probably will retire. I have no idea. And that's where this will play out. But I felt the reason I went there is I need to say in my energy body, in his physical presence, a meeting that way we will connect. But that doesn't necessarily mean I would need to start now. That's the way I got it. So we said goodbyes, but But what I got out of this whole experience is it doesn't matter you want to give your 100% to the people. They sometimes are not ready, so like it's like in a weird way, very, very painful. So I'm bringing it up to my assistant, like, who I work with. She says, "Oh, you shouldn't have done this course. I have everything I need for you." But you needed to go there because you keep interrupting people. I said, "That's not the problem." So what they are saying is, what is their problem with me? Each time I'm like sharing, they're adding more problems. So I'm like saying, "Oh, that's very interesting." But it's amazing the way we communicate is everybody, it doesn't matter who it is, they believe they have your answer. They don't even hear you. When I'm telling them, right, like I am here for you, they don't even hear you. No, 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 you're not here for me. You're here because you need to be taught, and I can see you're not going to be a good fit. And so the resume, he says, why do I need to know what you're good at? I only want to know how you're going to help me. I'm saying, isn't that crazy? The way they even train you to be like a nobody? So that's what I got out of it. And I was thinking, I need to really stop trying to help people. Seriously, that's one of my problems. Take care of my business and be happy because I have everything I need. And I don't know why. I'm not, like my husband was like so ticked off. He says, why I keep doing this? And then so I come back, right? Saturday, Mother's Day. And my husband, like, says, you didn't take care of the plants. Like somehow he picks up some fight. And I said, Keith, like, he looks at the dead plant, which he's chopped up in the middle. Look at it all dying. I said, you cut it in such a way. It has no nutrition. Right? Yeah. So he yells at me. And he says, this doesn't belong here. So he promised me he would only prune. He goes and chops off white silver leaf wine on the bottom. I'm like saying, that's when I realized my teacher was saying, if you get hurt, it's your ego. I said, okay. I said, Keith, what are you doing? He says, if you cannot do it my way, you need to look at another place to live. I said, so even now the potential exists that we are not going to be together, right? No, 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 I didn't say that. So that's what I heard. So he's like trying to fast track. And then a boy said, hey, can we have a pizza dinner? I said, I'll give you guys $20. And my husband says, huh? Only $20? The kids, it's Mother's Day. I said, you pitch in the rest, right? So he was pissed off, okay? But then he cools down and then he orders. So Mother's Day, I said, I'll pay for your sandwiches. So I said, how much was it? And I go to my box and he already swiped the $20. So he didn't even, like in my mind, I was thinking, oh, don't worry, honey, I'm going to pay for it. That didn't apply. Okay, so he already used it. So I said, oh, okay, that's fine. So I gave him another $40. So all shops were closed and I asked for a buffalo chicken from the local stores. That's where everybody ordered. So I said, it looks like a sliced turkey sandwich. So I was thinking, is this really the sandwich I ordered? Just eat, okay? I'm like saying, so I paid for my sandwich. I get yelled at. And I cannot even figure out what I'm eating. So I asked my son. My son was very nice. So Chris, and I asked him, Chris, what is this? And so immediately my husband understands. I kind of overstepped and he says, honey. And I said, I'm talking to Chris. And I said, I have everything I need, Keith. That's fine. So then I actually, but it takes a lot of finagling. So I actually asked Chris, and then my husband gets pissed off, of course. So then he takes his flowers, runs to his mom to deliver, and comes back. And then he says good night to everybody except for me. So I decided, Hey Keith, I said, thanks for giving me a very nice day. Good night. Hi, honey. Yes, I hope you had a happy Mother's Day. But what it says, it takes a lot to be a mother. And that was my Mother's Day. In a wrap. I'm like saying, I cannot believe the amount of energy we spend on mothering them, and they are all morons.
Yeah.
Seriously. But my kids were cute. I really love. I think, one thing I'm learning is my middle one, because he came back from UVM. Given that 1 year away was enough for him to see like how different the home is. Very, very nice, like I was so pleased. And he is redirecting the other two because I think these two are living. So like I think they went out, got nice flowers, and they gave it to me. And I really had a very nice Mother's Day because I could see a little bit of truth in them, and I could see the amount of intensity they put into thoughtfulness. And my husband, I could see he slipped up because he was exhausted. But instead of saying I'm exhausted and not keeping himself going, he's over because he's also overjoyed. The kids came back. He overstretches. He's an early morning person. I'm a night person. So I think life is not as easy as we look. But one thing I learned from all this course is it's not my agenda. It's others' agenda I need to run. And so I felt like, and that guy came and said to me, please tell the class that we mutually agreed that you're leaving. I said, sure.
Because
And I
he doesn't
said,
want to lose all
everybody
everybody
else. Yes.
so I said to my class, I said, hey, I have a scheduling conflict and I'm going to take off. And it was a pleasure meeting you guys all. But it's amazing what they hear. And there was another guy, like I'm saying, some of them have no, like I was thinking of the teacher, no etiquettes, like you are hearing from a judgment place, how can you have etiquette? So you know what he said? Oh, that's interesting. But anyway, I decided never to have an attitude, to just go in, do what I need to do the best I can, and just walk away. And that's what I do. But it was one of the most painful week I spent because it's like reliving my life. But this time I relived it with grace, amazing grace. Why are you shaking your head?
I said, well, you paid for it.
Yeah. This time you
You
paid.
paid for the.
Would you have done what I did?
No, I probably would have said, give my money back.
Yeah.
No, but like, would you have gone through the 1 week knowing
I
it
don't
is
think
very
I would have made
painful?
it.
Huh?
I don't think I would have made it.
Very interesting. But I think I enjoyed, but one of the things I learned was that I need to look professional. So one thing I'm doing is like doing my hair a little bit in the front, because all the kids do this, like weird hairstyle. And also I started doing like a little bit more beads in the front, so my dreads wouldn't show, and growing more wisps so I can hide it. And I had a scarf on, so when they did the picture taking, I kind of came across like this wild Californian,
How long have you had your dreads?
1 year.
That's it?
Yeah, because my teacher asked us to do it. So last February, I made a commitment. Before that, I used to wear that weird threads. Remember the one I used to wear, kind of make it look like a dread? That green and yellow. You have not seen it?
I think I've seen it, yeah.
Before that, I used to just braid and stuff. You guys have seen, I had a long hair. But my teacher was saying for memory, it's very important to commit to doing dreads, otherwise it doesn't store enough information. As we get older, you have to like put like filing cabinets. So I feel my memory is getting better. He says your thermoregulation, that is, you will not get menopausal like hot and cold. And the other thing is, he says you would be more graceful when you age. So it's like really like the motherliness, you'll open more instead of hot tempered. So I think temperament will improve. There are like few things he says. That's why, right? In mental health, I don't know whether you have done mental health. They'll do weighted blanket for kids. You've done it. It's really pleasant when you feel anxious and stuff. If you do weighted
Oh, the weight
blanket.
of yeah. I bought one of those. I didn't like it. I didn't.
That's
see it.
only when you're like like almost like crawling out of your skin type of worry. It works. Because half the time I'm exhausted and drowsy. So when you're exhausted and drowsy, it
They had
doesn't
one
work.
at Walmart. I think it was like £20 or something.
Yeah, how
But
much
I-
is it? It's like $300 sometimes, a very good one. But really works, especially when you're
It just felt
worried.
like a whole bunch of bees.
No, get the one with magnets, like magnet pellets,
Mhm.
or like bars, like they'll have, and you can make it yourself. You just have to buy two felt how they have in IKEA throw, cut the ends. Yeah, I've seen old ladies do this, and you tie the knot and then fill it with the step of material inside. You can make your own. Like IKEA throw is like $4, and then you would knot it. Have you seen those like artwork?
Mhm.
Yeah, and then you fill it with lot of magnetic pellet inside because it'll bunch in and like it wouldn't fall. Have you kind of know what I'm talking about? And when you use that, because what it is our mind is racing. So it'll really allow us to settle down and only process the thing that bothers us. See, like for us, right, we are processing 10 things at the same time. So it'll allow you to process only one thing. And that's what my processing last week was. Why is it bothering me? Why is it hurting me? And I finally understood it's hurting me because he's looking at me as I'm lacking something. And so it put me back 15 years, how I raised me. And so finally dawned on me the pain is because I haven't healed that 15 years. It's not his fault, but he's using his judgment eye. And so I've grown past that, but still that old place hurts, not having resources. But then finally I woke up and said, I don't need anybody's approval. I know who I am. But at the same time, I need to honor what is the reason I signed up for. And I had no clue. And I feel today morning when I woke up, it finally dawned on me. Maybe there is a chance I'm not going to see him again. He's the guy who opened this institute. And maybe in the energy level, he called out to say goodbye. Like if you look at it another way, it is not hurtful. So he might not be aware, but I need to honor that because by the time I go back, it might be too late. So it is a crossroads again. It's like very. And also, I learned about Puritans, and I heard this Mary Quaker came back and they hung her. I couldn't believe it. Did you know that? This girl, Mary Quaker, they gave her an ultimatum that you either leave Massachusetts or we'll hang you. So she goes. For some reason, she comes back. I don't know why. She thought maybe it's her home. And they hung her in Boston Gardens. Did you know that? I was so hurt on her behalf. You didn't know that, or you knew it?
I don't remember like the whole. I know that there was a story with, but I don't remember.
Yeah. So we never. Massachusetts people never forgave.
Yeah, well, look at the witches and all of that.
Yeah, that is also
It's the same,
Puritans.
yes.
They hung all the people. So I would have been hung here, I'm sure. Had I been with the Puritans, maybe my husband was the one who hung, and that's why we are hanging out together. I don't know. It was so funny. But like anyway, I wanted to share a piece of me. I wanted to do like a travel vlog, like what is happening, because sometimes when you go back and watch this, I had started journaling from 1997, even before my marriage. So when I went to take the picture of the past, it was so painful I could have finished reading. I couldn't go back there because I have written what all happened. that much detail. I couldn't even study.
Mhm.
I was thinking, oh no, it was too raw. Maybe one day I should go and sit with myself, journey and heal that, because that's why it is painful.
Mhm.
Because I can handle it.
Right.
Anyway, I'm so proud of you guys.